So the theme I'd like to invite us to explore tonight in our meditation together is the interaction and the support of metta, loving kindness, friendliness, goodwill, with patience, patient perseverance. Patience is one of the 10, what's in Buddhism, it's called paramis, or perfections, the qualities, the beautiful qualities of the heart, which, by the way, metta is one of them too. So is generosity and a bunch of others. Patience, I was reflecting on how the quality of patience is really, in many ways, is synonymous with, it can be synonymous with friendliness, goodwill, love, devotion, dedication, the various nuances of metta, and some nuances of patience. So I just wanted to say a couple of words about patience before we get started. And that is, a lot of times when we hear the word patience, perhaps what comes out, oh, patience, it seems so heavy. I have to be patient. And what I'd like to invite us to consider with patience is to discover our own wholesome relationship tonight with what a beautiful quality it is. So patience, with a sense of non-reactivity, with a sense of so much strength, so much perseverance, that one's attitude shifts towards whatever is arising that is calling for this strength, for this power of patience. So patience is not weak, is not just to endure, but to consider patience as an act of shifting perspectives from a self-centered, perhaps, perspective of, oh, I want this to be over with, enough already, a reactivity, a perspective of reactivity, of weakness. Like, I can't do this anymore. Is it done and over yet? To shifting the perspective to one that actually sees the situation completely differently. And as an example, what I like to bring up and seed tonight in our reflection is, if you consider the civil rights movement, for example, in the 1960s in the United States. So many beautiful people endured with patience, with perseverance, so much challenge and hardship, because the view was different. The view was bigger, something bigger than themselves, bigger, an offering to generations to come, and offering to society, to many, many people. So it was a shift in perspective of not seeing this situation, but the shift in perspective gave them a sense of strength, perseverance, non-reactivity. So seeding from that perspective, the sense of patience, being patient with ourselves, being patient with others, a shift in perspective. For example, with the same way that you're impatient with yourself, for example, let's say you get sick and like, okay, come on, let's get better. Okay, done already. Or the impatience that you might have, especially in our zeitgeist with the long list of to-do, the to-do list, the proverbial to-do list, the impatience of getting things done, getting things done over and over again throughout the day. And when you fall short, shifting the perspective for example, say if you were dealing with a child or a newborn, let's say with a newborn, you wouldn't be impatient. Okay, stop, grow up, stop screaming, stop. Can't you talk already? Can't you tell me what do you want? Do you want milk? Do you want to clean your diaper? Like, there's not even a sense of impatience, reactivity there, because the perspective is different. There's a bigger perspective of what actually the causes and conditions and what is happening for this newborn, what it's capable of. So there is a shift from the perspective of expectation and driving, and not to say that accomplishing in the world, serving ourselves and others, of course it's important, it's of value, but noticing if there's a sense, if there's a conflict that's arising, that's pushing, with a sense of impatience, that's actually this conflictual relationship is not friendly. It's not friendly with ourselves, it's not friendly with the world, and it's not friendly with the situation. It doesn't actually help anyone, the sense of being in conflict with reality. So, one definition, one way of seeing patience is not being in conflict with reality, having a sense of stability, strength, and friendliness to work with reality, with things just as they are, in a skillful way, both skillfully for ourselves and others. So, okay, I think I've said enough to seed our exploration, and we'll discover more. And again, while we're discovering our, through the guided meditation, anything can come up. Some challenges might come up. See if we can work with those challenges in real time with a sense of patience. Can we stay with them? Can we have a shifted perspective so that our practice can actually be in real time, the sense of patience with our practice? I guess that's another thing I want to bring up. Sometimes we have a sense of impatience. Okay, enough. I've been sitting for a while. Okay, am I enlightened yet? Seeing what a shift in perspective actually can support, deepening the friendliness with reality. So with all that, I'd like to invite you to settle in your posture, moving however you're most comfortable. To sit, to lie down, and landing in this body. Landing with the breath. Letting the breath move. In and out. Letting the breath breathe you. And see if you can call on, invite into your body an attitude, a shift in perspective towards welcoming, towards patience, towards whatever is arising, patience towards your heart, patience towards your mind, patience towards your body. As if you're breathing, a sense of ease. Letting the moment expand. Softening, relaxing. Inviting the body to land drop all the tensions, all the holdings. And being patient towards this moment, this process, one breath at a time. Patience that you reserve perhaps for the tenderest of beings in your life. For little children you care for, newborns or pets. See if there can be this spaciousness, friendliness, non-reactivity of patience towards each breath. Each breath settling you more deeply, giving each breath its own time, not trying to rush to the next breath. Letting the breath have all the time it needs. Experimenting. As if your breath, the body, was the little child, just settling, settling, giving it time, giving your mind, your breath, your body time. Spaciously breathing, being breathed. And if thoughts arise, thoughts, memories, see if you can open up to them with an attitude of non-reactivity, of patience, spaciousness. Non-judgmentally letting them arise and pass. Simply inviting the awareness to rest with the body, rest with the breath, and settle. It's like this right now, this body, this mind. Can we open up to it? Can you open up to it? With whatever is arising. The non-reactive body, a body that's soft, relaxed. Spacious, stable, so stable and spacious. And whatever is arising in this moment doesn't flap you. Sense of ease and spaciousness. Even if there are challenging thoughts and mind states, oh, I can't do this, I'm failing, whatever it might be. Responding to that, holding that with spaciousness. The sense of stability. Non-reactivity. A perspective that's not tight, not caught in just what's happening or not happening. But a perspective, a view that's more spacious, beyond this time and space, beyond yourself. A deep understanding, a deep knowing, a deep appreciation, care, friendliness. Which could be called patience. But it's not an enduring, it just flows. The stability and the lack of impatience, being unflappable, flows from a deep settling. Even if there is a moment of experiencing a sense of peace with the comings and goings, that's a taste. And if it's not continuous, no need to be in conflict with the reality right now. Can there be a sense of opening, friendliness, non-struggle that I call patience, non-conflict with reality? Staying connected to your body and your breath. And just being breathed. Letting the body and the breath be the anchor. Is it possible, once you're sitting and being breathed, expanding, opening, letting go of grasping, letting go of grasping to a self-conscious and fixed idea of who you are? And now I'd like to invite you, if you wish, you can either stay with being breathed in the spaciousness of perspective, of friendliness, non-reactivity with whatever is arising, which could be called patience, sense of stability and strength, friendliness, coalescing, recognized as patience. Or if you wish, I have an invitation for you. I'd like to invite you, if you want, to bring to mind ever so gently maybe a situation today or yesterday or this past week where there was a lack of patience with yourself or with someone else. If it feels okay, bringing that to your mind's eye, to a felt sense. And seeing what was the conflict with reality, point of contention. Mind wanting things to be a different way than they actually are because of all the causes and conditions set forth. And feeling, if you wish, feeling into that grasping, the tightness of wanting things to be different or a particular way. And letting awareness know it, just knowing the tightness, the contraction, and what it feels like in the body and in the mind. And when the mind has known it, then when it's been known, this contraction has been seen with awareness. See what happens if the fist of grasping opens. If there is a non-fighting with reality. There's a letting go of this grasping, this softening. An acknowledgement of how things are and how they need to be this way. Because again, of all the cause and condition, and see what that feels like, that shift from a tight, clingy perspective to one that's more spacious and sees all the cause and conditions, past, present, future, all beings. And see what happens in your body. Even if this shift is possible for just a split second. With this perspective. Things are as they are right now. And they need to be. Given all the causes and conditions, if they could be different, they would have been. Things are as they are right now. And seeing if this realization could be seen with a sense of stability, strength, eyes of wisdom, not resignation and weakness, but is seeing, waking up to the truth, the lawful way that this life unfolds. Things need to be this way. Things are as they are right now. Yes. Feeling a sense of stability and strength in yourself to be with things as they are. And knowing that strength, stability, this quality of patience to be with things as they are, doesn't mean giving up, doesn't mean resignation at all. It's just recognition of how things are, not fighting with reality of this moment. The attitude of non-clinging to something that cannot possibly be in this moment, but keeping the inspiration and the aspiration for cultivating the good. And for the last few minutes of this practice period, can either be with the breath and the body, be breathed with metta, non-reactivity, patience, or drop in the contemplation of how this quality of patience, as we've discovered and explored together, this wholesome quality of the strength of the heart, can be a gift to yourself and to others. You're welcome to explore the different nuances of it for yourself. Patient perseverance, strength, non-reactivity, spaciousness, metta. See what speaks to you. Welcome back, everyone. Just a couple of words I want to say about this exploration we did tonight is the practice of patience, the paramis, the perfection of patience. In Pali, it's Kanti, for those who like the Pali words. It's not about resignation. I know you know this, but it's not about resignation at all. It's about the strength of character, this friendliness, this non-fighting with reality as it is right now. And yet having the aspiration, the inspiration for goodness, for cultivating goodness. And in the example I gave at the very beginning with the civil rights movement, there was a sense of movement for change, for bringing love, beauty, and fairness, justice to the world. So there is a movement towards change, this aspiration. And yet there's this sense of perseverance. There's a sense of patient perseverance, given a perspective that's larger, that's different from right here, right now, the little me. So just wanted to bring that nuance here. So yeah, and I would love to hear some of your reflections. If you have questions, comments, what came up for you during this practice. And I think what was coming up for me also was this realization, there's so much to explore in the meaning of metta, kindness, to ourselves and others, and sense of patience. And it was becoming clear to me that being patient to myself, with myself, is an act of metta, is an act of kindness. Again, with not giving up the wish for cultivation, but the sense of understanding that things are like this right now because of cause and conditions, and the same way with others. It is an expression of friendliness. So happy to hear your questions, your thoughts, and I'm going to allow you to unmute yourself if you want, and you can also type in chat your reflections, what came up for you. Questions? Yeah, Ali.
Thank you, Nikki. That was felt like divinely sent for me tonight. What I heard, what really resonated with me was if things could be different, they would, and coming to that place, and it's like all we know is what was, and in your example of the civil rights movement, we can't see yet what is, and just for myself, the propensity to cling and all that blocks, and all that actually just perpetuates the cycle of the suffering. So yeah, I really resonated with just looking at it as not a resignation, but rather just a shift, and kind of pictured myself jumping from one rock to another one, and not just being really scared and not really knowing what's on the other side. So yeah, thank you for all that insight.
Thank you, Ali. Thanks so much for sharing. And I love how in what arose for you and the insight that arose for you is this, your words, how did you put it? Perpetuating suffering? I think you used something like that. So to perpetuate suffering with like this sense. So to see that, to see how that gives rise to perpetual suffering. Beautiful. Thanks so much for sharing that. Appreciate it. Yeah. Bill offers, I like the idea of patience as strength. Yeah. Thank you for that. I like that too, because really that can shift our relationship to it. Because sometimes we think of patience as weak, like, oh, I have to be patient. But like, oh, patience is a sense, it's like you're being a rock, both for yourself and for others, a sense of stability. And maybe rock is not the best metaphor, but it's kind of like it comes with a sense of kindness, a loving rock, if you could imagine that. Susan offers steadfastness is what's arising. Lovely. Yeah, there's a sense of steadfastness, another nuance of patience. Yeah, Phil, beautiful. I love that. Giving strength rather than consuming it. Yeah, I love that. Giving strength both to yourself and to others. Beautiful reflections. Yeah. Yeah. Is patience different than acceptance? Offers Neil, asks Neil. So I would say, and I'm going to invite you to actually explore it for yourself. So I'm going to offer an explanation, but don't take my word for it, see for yourself. I would say that there is a sense, there is an aspect of acceptance, or actually let's take the word acceptance and use a synonym that I prefer is non-conflict. Acceptance, because acceptance, again, people can think of it as resignation, but let's think of not being in conflict with reality. So is patience different than that? I would say that what's not being in conflict with reality is a part of patience, but patience inhabits more. There's a sense of stability and love and strength that is part of patience, in addition to just acceptance or the non-conflict with reality. And Neil, I'm going to invite you to explore that for yourself. Does that sound okay? Yeah, great. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. And John, I see you're typing questions to me privately, which I get a sense that your practice, where you are right now, it might have gone into nihilism. So I can stay on for a couple of minutes after and answer this privately because it's not within the context of what we're practicing right now. Yeah. So any other reflections you like to share about patience and about what came up for you in this guided meditation? Questions, comments? Feel free to unmute yourself if you wish. Okay. All right. Going once, going twice. Any other reflections came up for you? Anything you'd like to put in the container before we go into groups? Okay. All right. So I take that as a cue that it's time to transition to small groups of 3 for a brief period of time. And the invitation right now for this small groups is see if you can inhabit this quality of patience, a sense of strength, loving strength for yourself, patience with whatever comes out of your mouth or doesn't, both for you and other people. So relating to each other from this stance of loving patience. See what that might do to the interactions, to the way you listen to yourself and the way you listen to others. Experiment. Okay? Like a dropper, like dropping in a color, loving patience for yourself. And for others. So this is the invitation for us practicing. in breakout rooms. And the prompt is each person will have a couple of minutes to time yourselves. Like, how was this practice for you? And there's no right or wrong. You can say, I fell asleep, I didn't follow it. It doesn't matter what you say, but it's more important. Whoops, I think I just opened the rooms. Here we go. Welcome back. I would love to hear how your practice was tonight. Any reflections, what came up, questions, comments, and please just unmute yourself or type in the chat, especially practicing with a sense of patience, loving patience. Anything that was challenging? Everything is welcome.
This is Leo.
Hi, Leo.
Hi. I just wanted to thank you for the talk. It was a very nice concept of being patient through strength, and not through acceptance that is weak, in that sense, without mindfulness. So I thank you so much for the concept.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for practicing and exploring it in this way. Yeah. Maintaining posture has always been challenging to me beyond 10 minutes, says Sangeeta. Sangeeta, I'm happy to say if you support you with that. Tell me what, when you say maintaining posture is difficult, say more. What do you mean by that? Oh, I can try to unmute you if you're having trouble doing that. Let's see here. Unmute. Okay, I just unmuted you. But can't hear you. Huh. Can't hear you, Sangeeta. Oh dear. Sitting in one posture. So, yeah, seems like there's a problem with audio. Okay, so so is it okay? I can speak and you can chat the answers back. So is it the idea that when you're sitting for 10 minutes, then there's a lot of pain, or there's a sense of fidgetiness of moving? Is it major movement your body wants to do, or tiny adjustments? Pain, fidgetiness. Okay, so it's pain, fidget. Okay, pain, fidgetiness, and tiny adjustments. Okay. So, and have you had a history of pain? For example, surgery or something that something that you really need? No pain history. Okay, you keep shifting all the time. So here's what I'm going to suggest you play around with this. And for different people, I would say different things. But from what I'm getting from you, is what I suggest is, with some of the desire to move, take some of the desire to move and work with it. It's like, oh, can I just observe it? Can I just be with this? Like, really want to, unless the pain. So, and you need to know what kind of pain it is. Some of the pain, say knee pain, don't mess with it. Just move mindfully. You don't want to bust your knees. You don't want to, but if your leg is falling asleep and yeah, this is how I usually fall asleep, and it wakes up and it's not dangerous, then hang with it. Then hang with the fidgetiness. Like, stay with it. There's so much strength, so much stability, patience, since we're talking about patience, to actually build from not moving, but in a wise way. And when I started my practice years ago, I remember I wanted to fidget and move, like, oh, there's a little bit of pain, I want to move. Like, what if I stay? Just stay. And the edge of what I could sit with, what I could persevere with, without it being dangerous, but it's just the strength of the mind, that my mind can stay with this. You can stay with this. I can be with it, not turning around, la, 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 but really being with it. Okay, just meeting it with strength and gentleness, kindness, not staring it down, but just like, okay, sweetie, yeah, I know you want to move, but okay, let's just hang in. Breathe with this, right? So you can really extend the patience. So as your physical body, staying with the physical body can train you with the emotional strength. That's the point I want to make. So this is a fantastic question. I'm so glad you brought it up. This is a great, this is a great sandbox for the physical patience. Great. Yeah. So it is our time. You have been patient. It's 7:01. We're 1 minute over time, and want to thank you all for joining and practicing together. These practices are just so beautiful as we do them together, this co-creation, international co-creation. So may all beings be happy. May all beings be free. May all beings know their own beauty and grace. And may we too be happy and free and know our own beauty and grace. Thank you all. Take good care. Diana will be teaching tomorrow night. I'll see you next Monday. Bye.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you. Take care. Good to see you.
Thank you, Nikki. See you next week.
Good to see you. Take care. Bye.